A crashed Bugatti is usually the end of the story. These cars are not designed like normal vehicles, and once they suffer major damage, most people believe they can never truly be the same again. The engineering is extremely advanced. The parts are rare, and the repair process is controlled very closely by the factory. That is why most heavily damaged Bugattis disappear quietly after insurance companies write them off. But one Bugatti Chiron per sport changed that pattern completely. Instead of being hidden away forever, this damaged hypercar became the center of one of the biggest automotive stories on YouTube. The reason was simple. The wrecked Bugatti ended up connected to famous YouTuber Mat Armstrong, a creator known for rebuilding cars that most people think are beyond saving. Over the years, Armstrong built a huge audience by repairing destroyed BMWs, Lamborghinis, Audis, and other expensive performance cars. His videos are popular because they mix entertainment with problem-solving. Viewers enjoy watching impossible-looking projects slowly come back to life. However, this Bugatti rebuild was different from anything he had done before. The moment he became involved, the project stopped being just another repair job. It became a public clash between independent car builders and one of the most exclusive manufacturers in the world. Bugatti believed the car should only be repaired by the factory. Armstrong believed the rebuild could still be done outside Bugatti's system. That disagreement quickly turned into a much larger debate about safety, ownership, repair rights, and who should have a final say over a machine worth millions of dollars. Suddenly, millions of viewers were watching closely to see whether a YouTuber could achieve something even major repair shops considered impossible. The Bugatti at the center of the story was not an ordinary Chiron. It was a Bugatti Chiron per sport, one of only 60 examples ever produced. The car originally cost around $3.6 million when new, but because of its rarity and demand, many collectors valued it much higher. Powered by an enormous quad-turbocharged W16 engine producing 1,500 horsepower, the Per Sport was designed as one of the most extreme road cars ever built. Every detail of the car focused on performance, from the lightweight carbon fiber structure to the highly specialized suspension and aerodynamic design. That is why the crash shocked so many people online. The car belonged to Florida influencer Alex Gonzalez and was involved in what appeared to be a relatively small accident with the back of a truck. Most people expected limited damage because the crash did not happen at extreme speed. However, modern hypercars are very different from normal vehicles. Even smaller impacts can destroy expensive structural components hidden underneath the bodywork. Once the damaged Bugatti was inspected, the repair costs immediately became overwhelming. The front end was crushed, the airbags deployed, the carbon fiber panel shattered, and important structural sections around the front frame were damaged. There were also fears that parts of the carbon fiber monocoque chassis itself may have cracked. In cars like the Chiron, that kind of damage is extremely serious because the chassis is essentially the heart of the vehicle. Replacing or repairing it requires factory-level equipment and highly trained specialists. The headlights alone reportedly cost tens of thousands of dollars each, while the total parts estimate quickly reached around $1.7 million. Faced with those costs, the insurance company declared the Bugatti a total loss and gave it a salvage title. For most people, that would have ended the story permanently. Instead, it became the beginning of a massive online spectacle. Things became even more dramatic once Bugatti itself stepped into the situation. After the crash, the company sent a factory technician from France to inspect the damaged Per Sport. According to Bugatti, the damage was considered too severe for an outside repair. Soon after the inspection, Bugatti locked the car's VIN number inside its system. That decision changed everything, because it meant official Bugatti dealerships and service centers could no longer supply parts for the vehicle. In simple terms, the car had been blacklisted. Without access to genuine Bugatti parts, rebuilding the Chiron through normal channels became nearly impossible. While some people online viewed the decision as overly strict, Bugatti argued that the move was necessary for safety reasons. The company explained that hypercars like the Chiron are extremely complex machines, and even small mistakes during repairs could create dangerous problems later. Bugatti also wanted to protect the brand's reputation because a badly repaired car that failed in the future would still reflect poorly on the company. Around this time, Mat Armstrong traveled to Miami to inspect the damaged Bugatti himself. Unlike most people, the The wreck did not scare him away. Armstrong had already rebuilt many seriously damaged supercars before, and he saw the purse sport as the ultimate challenge. But he quickly realized his project would be completely different. In his videos, Armstrong explained how shocked he was that Bugatti refused to provide any support at all. According to him, there was only one official path remaining. The car would need to be shipped back to Bugatti's factory in Moutier, France, where the company could carry out a full factory-approved rebuild. Rumors suggested the repair costs could reach numbers close to the price of another Chiron entirely. At that point, the story stopped being just about repairing a car. It became a public battle between factory control and independent rebuilding. The situation exploded online when Alex Gonzalez publicly challenged Bugatti on social media. Frustrated by the company's refusal to unblacklist the car, Alex posted a message on Instagram giving Bugatti 24 hours to cooperate or he would attempt to 3D print certain parts himself. The post spread rapidly across the internet and immediately fueled debate throughout the car community. Some people supported Alex and believed owners should have complete freedom to repair vehicles they legally purchased. Others thought the idea of recreating parts for a multi-million-dollar hypercar sounded reckless and dangerous. Either way, the attention became impossible to ignore. Soon after the Instagram post gained traction, Mat Armstrong, the CEO of Bugatti Rimac, personally contacted Alex through direct messages. Rimac attempted to calm the situation and open communication between Bugatti and the car's owner. Not long afterward, reports emerged that Bugatti was willing to unblacklist the car and discuss a proper repair process. According to conversations mentioned in Armstrong's videos, two major repair estimates were discussed. The first number was reportedly around $1.7 million, which shocked many viewers. Later, Alex claimed Bugatti returned with another figure between $600,000 and $700,000 if the company handled the repairs directly at the factory. While still extremely expensive, that second number sounded much more realistic considering the value of the car. However, Alex still rejected the offer. The problem was not only the money. He also worried about losing control of the project on certain timelines and the possibility of additional costs appearing later. Armstrong suggested that Bugatti strongly wanted the car returned to France because the company preferred keeping such an important rebuild fully under factory supervision. Instead of sending the purse sport back to Europe, Alex made the risky decision to continue the rebuild independently in Miami, with Armstrong leading the effort. Once the factory route was rejected, the real challenge began. Armstrong now had one of the rarest hypercars in the world sitting in pieces inside an independent workshop with no direct factory support. Millions of viewers followed every update, wondering if the impossible could actually be done. Early rebuild videos quickly revealed how difficult the process would become. As the damaged front end was removed, Armstrong and his team discovered problems far worse than expected. What originally looked like small cracks around the gearbox turned into serious structural damage involving transmission mounts and other important components. These were the kinds of repairs usually handled by manufacturers using specialized factory tools and advanced measuring systems. Every new issue seemed to support Bugatti's argument that the car needed factory-level repairs. Still, Armstrong refused to quit. He began searching for alternative ways to source parts through secondary suppliers and hidden part numbers. One interesting discovery involved airbags and electronic modules that appear to share numbers with components used in more common Audi models. That discovery shocked many viewers because it showed that even a multi-million-dollar Bugatti still used certain parts connected to larger automotive groups. However, Bugatti later argued that shared part numbers did not mean the systems behaved the same way inside the Chiron. According to the company, crash calibration and deployment behavior could still differ greatly because of the Chiron's unique structure and performance capabilities. While the rebuild videos attracted huge support online, they also created major controversy. Some people praised Armstrong's determination and viewed him as an underdog fighting against corporate control. Others worried the project was becoming more about internet attention than safety. Regardless of opinion, the rebuild became one of the biggest automotive stories online. Some update videos reached millions of views within days, proving that the public was deeply invested in the outcome of the project as debate continued across YouTube, forums, and social media. Mat Armstrong eventually decided to explain Bugatti's side publicly. In a video statement released online, Armstrong calmly addressed many of the rumors surrounding Bugatti repair costs and the Chiron rebuild. He argued that much of the information spreading across the internet was exaggerated or simply incorrect. One major example involved the Chiron's headlights. Online claims suggested the headlights cost around 150,000 euros for the pair, but Armstrong clarified the real number was closer to 50,000 euros. While still incredibly expensive, it showed how internet stories had inflated certain details for dramatic effect. The story begins with one of the most shocking moments in the modern supercar world, a crash involving a highly exclusive Bugatti hypercar. The car in question was a rare and extremely expensive model, part of a very limited production run that only a few people in the world will ever own. In this case, the car was owned by Florida-based influencer Alex Gonzalez, a name known in the car community for showcasing luxury and performance vehicles. What made this incident so surprising was not just the car itself, but how the accident happened. It was not a high-speed crash on a racetrack or a dramatic street race gone wrong. Instead, it was a low-speed collision involving a small truck worth only a few $1,000s. On paper, it should have been a minor incident with only light cosmetic damage. However, when a Bugatti is involved, even the smallest mistake can turn into a financial disaster. The moment news of the crash spread, car enthusiasts around the world reacted with disbelief. How could one of the most advanced and expensive machines ever built be seriously damaged in such a simple situation? This single question set the stage for everything that followed, turning a normal traffic accident into a global automotive story that would eventually involve insurance companies, factory engineers, and even one of the most popular car builders on YouTube, Mat Armstrong. When people first saw images of the damaged car, the situation became much clearer and far more serious than expected. The Bugatti had suffered significant front-end damage despite the low-speed impact. The front bumper area was crushed, carbon fiber body panels were shattered, and multiple components were completely destroyed on contact. Even more concerning was the deployment of airbags and signs of deeper structural stress. In high-performance vehicles like this, damage is not only about what you can see on the surface. Beneath the bodywork lies a highly advanced carbon fiber monocoque structure designed for extreme strength and safety. Early inspection suggested that the damage may have reached this critical structural area, which immediately raised repair concerns. Key components, such as headlights, sensors, and the iconic Bugatti horseshoe grille, were also destroyed. Each of these parts is not only expensive, but also highly specialized, meaning replacements cannot simply be sourced from standard suppliers. As the inspection continued, the repair list quickly grew longer and more complicated. What initially looked like a front-end repair soon turned into a full evaluation of whether the car could even be safely restored. In the world of hypercars, damage like this is never simple. Even a small crack in the wrong place can affect the safety and performance of the entire vehicle. This is why what seemed like a minor crash at first quickly escalated into a serious engineering and financial problem. AS engineers and insurance experts began calculating the cost of repairs. The numbers quickly became overwhelming. Reports suggested that the parts alone required to restore the car would cost around $1.7 million. This figure did not even include labor, specialized equipment, or factory-level inspection work. In hypercar repair, every single component must meet strict factory standards, and many parts are not freely available to independent workshops. This makes repairs extremely expensive and time-consuming. The carbon fiber structure of the car adds another layer of complexity because it cannot simply be repaired like metal. Any structural issue often requires complete replacement of major sections, which increases both cost and difficulty. Because of these factors, the insurance company made a difficult but logical decision. After reviewing the damage and estimating the total repair costs, they declared the vehicle a total loss. This meant the car was officially written off, even though it still physically existed. Once a vehicle reaches this point, it is usually sent to auction markets where salvage buyers can attempt repairs or reuse parts. For most cars, this process is normal. However, for Bugatti, it is a rare and highly significant event. Very few of these vehicles ever enter the salvage market, making this particular case even more interesting to the global automotive community. After being declared a total loss, The Bugatti was sent to Copart, one of the largest salvage auction platforms in the world. This marked a major turning point in the story. A machine that once represented extreme luxury, engineering perfection, and exclusivity was now sitting in a damaged state, waiting to be sold to the highest bidder. The transition from showroom-level perfection to salvage yard status shocked many enthusiasts. It also highlighted how even the most valuable vehicles are still vulnerable to real-world accidents and financial decisions. At this stage, the car received a salvage title, which officially confirmed it could no longer be considered roadworthy in its current condition. Interestingly, reports also suggested that this particular model was part of an extremely limited production run, making the situation even more significant for collectors. Cars like this are usually preserved carefully, not sent through insurance write-offs. The presence of such a rare hypercar in a salvage auction created major attention in the automotive world. Collectors, rebuilders, and influencers all began paying attention to what would happen next. Among those watching closely was Mat Armstrong, a well-known car builder on YouTube who had built a reputation for restoring heavily damaged performance cars. For him, this was not just another auction listing. It was a potential challenge that could define one of his most ambitious rebuild projects yet. Just when the situation seemed to be moving toward a standard salvage rebuild, a major development changed everything completely. After the crash, Bugatti sent a factory technician from their headquarters